Hey everyone, I'm Rory from the Rory and Serena channel, and today I'm going to be talking over some Blender footage that I recorded while I was, I don't know, I guess just feeling creative. Ignore this, what's on screen. This is terrible. This is not how people would do that. That's not a good use for reference image. But what you'll see now, I suppose, is a little bit. Uh, all I'm doing is I'm using a cube and I'm beveling off the edges, making some subsurface divisions. And this all came because I was speaking to my friend Dylan from Dilby, and I asked him for some input of what I could make in Blender. So I wanted to be a bit more creative with it. And he said a toaster. And I said, okay. I thought I was going to get something a little bit more difficult than that, but that's alright. And that was my fault, because I had a little bit of a hubris. I thought, well, it's not going to be that difficult, and now you can see me not even knowing how to use the knife key. So it really puts me in my place. But I said that doesn't sound too difficult, and he went, "Fine, make a toast, make a toilet as well." So there will be a toilet on my channel at some point, rendered completely in Blender. Which that's fine. You know, I'm having a lot of fun with this. So I'm not exactly the type of person you could come to for a tutorial in this, but that's because I've got maybe like 3 weeks experience in this, and that's not 3 weeks back to back. That's like a day a week. So yeah, I'm just having fun with it. I've been looking into how to import skins from games, specifically right now Fortnite, and that's because I wanted to make a phone wallpaper with a Diamond Hans skin on it that will be on screen now. I'll put Diamond Hans up there. Uh, I'm just wanting to explore my chances with Blender because I've been a big fan of Blender channels for a while, specifically Daniel Craft and his app redevelopment and his emojis. You know, all that kind of stuff really interests me. So I'd really like to get into that and start learning how to do some 3D animation. I know I said this last video, but this video is a bit more professional and less kind of depressing to listen to. What I'm doing now is I'm just adding buttons and dials that you would see on the toaster, you know, like for how long to cook it and an eject button and such. When we get to the end of this segment, you'll see I guess a first render of my toaster, which, yeah, it's good, but it's good for like an early thing, you know, for someone who's just starting to Blender, but I know I can do better. So I've got a second toaster that'll be at the end of this video that I think looks a bit better. I've recolored it and such. I've not added as many details as I'd like, but the details will still be there. Can you believe that this footage is sped up 2000%? I know, I'm doing nothing. I think I went away or something. But yeah, there's details that aren't in my toaster. Not to ruin it already before you've seen it. For example, there's no feet to the toaster. It's not just going to be a metal cube that sits on the floor. However, in these renders, it is. So, what you're seeing on screen now was the biggest waste of my time. I subdivided a cube so much, and you'll see that I beveled the edges so much that they went black. And oh god, it's awful. Oh, it's disgusting. So yeah, I just decided to go with a better idea, subdivide the cube again, but this time I turned on proportional editing to give me that sort of lever trigger that you pull down on a toaster to suck the bread in. While you're looking at this, I'm going to talk about ideas I had for a second YouTube channel. It was going to be called RMYT. If I've made it, it'll be on screen. If not, it'll be made at another point at some time. I play Fortnite a lot with my fiance, and I was just thinking it's a really fun and easy thing to record footage, upload it there, and if anybody likes it, that's great. And if they don't like it, that's fine too. They don't need to watch it. But, you know, I've been looking for ways to be more creative during the lockdown, like with this bet, and I think that's a really easy way to be more creative, and I can use that as sort of a bare minimum. This is like my gaming videos, this is what I want it to be left at, and then the stuff on this channel can be premium quality like I've wanted for a while now. We're coming up on the end of this first segment. One mistake I made that you'll see me correct is I actually put two individual lights inside the toaster. The only issue with that is that it means if I wanted to import this toaster again to something else, the lights wouldn't carry over. But now what you're seeing is my fully rendered toaster. You'll notice some mistakes. Like I said, there's no feet. There's that sharp edge on the front, and that's just because I didn't have a plane fully surrounding it. And you'll also notice that there's no engravings on any of the buttons or any indication of what these toaster buttons do. That hasn't been fixed, but I've given the toaster a lick of paint and I've fixed that sharp edge in the reflection. So what I did is I tried to extrude the edges, and that didn't work because it didn't connect. So I started again with a fresh plane, extruded the edges, and when I went to bevel them, it turns out it still didn't connect and it would leave a sharp point. So then I cut out the middleman entirely, and I put in a cube and tore the roof off of it, and then beveled all the edges, giving me that smooth rim that every photographer seems to have apparently. I shade smoothed it and went down and started working towards a material more similar to a toaster I currently own. So I started working out how I would export it as an OBJ, realised that the lights weren't going to come across with it, which wasn't helpful at all. I also didn't know how to separate it from the photographer studio that I'd made for it. So I I learned how to move it without the lights by increasing the emission levels in its materials. You'll see me zoom in shortly. That was me learning to import. So I zoom in, I select the bottom ones, and if I scroll down, I can change the emission layers. The emission is going to be way brighter than it has any right to be, but that's simply because the angle that I have my camera at, you're not going to be able to see in there, so I just wanted the glow to look like it was coming off of the walls instead of the ground, but I didn't want it to glow towards the camera. So I got all those light bounces on the inside to work by boosting the emission and adding some bloom to it. And this is my finished result. You'll see that I got rid of the sharp edge, added a lick of paint to it, boosted the emission levels quite a bit, and now the background has this nice red hue to it. Alright, this was the story of how I made my toaster. I'm glad you liked it. Please like and subscribe, and there will be a video uploaded on this channel every Sunday, hopefully similar to this. Bye bye.